In 2015 and 2017, I had the opportunity to go to Barcelona for a conference. And what I tried to do was to extend my trip to Europe for a few days so that I could make the most out of it and go visit several places that I've never been to before. This time around, the plan was to land in Barcelona, rent a car, and drive along the eastern coast all the way down to Gibraltar. After a rainy layover in Amsterdam, we took off and headed to Barcelona. Once I got to Barcelona, I rented a car and made my way down to Cartagena. I stayed there for a couple of nights at an Airbnb, and my hosts were great and showed me around. The next morning, it was time to go to my first heist challenge for the trip, which is a walk on the Caminito del Rey. Let's have 2017 Jeff take you through the experience.
Alright, we're headed towards Caminito del Rey. It's a 4-hour drive from Cartagena. Had to do it because of dumb planning. Take a look at the view. Look at that. We're gonna walk probably alongside that, but this is another one of those heights challenge things, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Got a hurdle, I didn't print my ticket, so we'll see how that works. All right, hard head on. Everything was built along the side of the ledge. It's actually built on top of the old walkway. And they preserved the old walkway. This is how you historically would cross this little gorge here. No big deal. No big deal. But you can see all the here, the path entries. Voila. I don't know what's below it, but that's a little bit different. It's not on top of it. It's a steel bridge, but it's not on top of whatever is already there. So we'll see when we get there. This is it. Probably the most dangerous part, and it's scary. Just don't look down. You don't look down. You don't look down. You look straight ahead. You look straight ahead. This thing is moving. This is why when the winds are high, they probably close this thing. Nothing above 25, 35 miles an hour. This is probably the scariest things I've ever done. But again, relatively stable. It was shaking because there were people on it. And we've made it. Look at this. This is it. Perspective. This is perspective. We were walking on nothing. Alright. We just got done. We have arrived in what's called El Chorro. Or what's called, it's a city. But it's at the southern point of the Caminito. I have hard hat hair, which means very sweaty. So they give you a hairnet. View is great. Walk is amazing. Everyone should come try it. It's only been around for a couple years, but do it. Let's see, bro.
So after a second night in Cartagena, the next morning I made my way down the coast of Spain and into Gibraltar. For you history buffs, you'll know that Gibraltar is actually a British territory that's located on the southern tip of Spain and has been a point of contention between Great Britain and Spain historically. History aside though, Gibraltar is an amazing place. The weather over there is roughly high 70s, maybe low 80s all year round. Doesn't change, doesn't rain too much once in a while. And it's just a unique space that I wanted to visit. So I had a couple of nights in Gibraltar. The first night I just walked around town and specifically went down to the marina, which is a really cool area to be. The second day is when I went up to the top of the Rock of Gibraltar and hiked my way down. And as you hike your way down the Rock of Gibraltar, they've built in a couple of attractions. So there is a bit of a cave system that they use, and they actually host events in there. And then they also built a suspension bridge, which was my second heights challenge for the trip. So back to the future for a minute. Those monkeys that you're seeing, they look cute, but there are warnings about them being dangerous and not to feed them. And so here's first-hand experience. In the morning, basically you can take a cable car up to the top of the Rock of Gibraltar, and that's what I did. And then I hiked my way back down. There's a visitor center up top, and that's where some of the monkeys are. And what I did was I got up early and got some food to take with me along the hike as I came back down. You know, a couple sandwiches, maybe a couple bottles of beverages. And then I just started walking around the visitor center. This is not on video because I, wasn't thinking at the time. But yeah, so as I was walking around, there are other tourists around. And then I had a backpack on, and all of a sudden I feel this weight on my backpack. And at the time I just thought it was a really excited tourist, and so I didn't think much of it. I'm just like, someone got really overexcited and just saw my backpack and wanted to jump and be like, oh, my excitement. So then about 30 seconds later, someone came and tapped me on the shoulder, and they're like, hey man, you got a monkey on your backpack. And what had happened was the monkey sensed that I had like a sandwich stashed in my backpack, jumped on it, and was trying to open up the bag. So once I realized and I looked and he was right there, I like swung my back around and he jumped off the backpack and scuttled away. Meanwhile, there was a circle of people taking a video of this happening, of the guy with a monkey on his back. Literally, quite literally. So it ended up being about a 4-hour hike down the Rock of Gibraltar. And once I was done, I headed back down to the marina to grab some lunch, and then it was time to go on a dolphin watching tour.
Oh, they're coming this way, niggas.
Stay semi-conscious in order to return to the surface to breathe. So they go into an almost comatose state, allowing them to return to the surface. Now these guys are completely wild animals, we can't teach them any tricks, but one thing we can do is encourage some natural behaviour. So as we drive off, we'll speed them up and create a large wake behind them.
So dolphin watching ended up being the last recreational thing that I did on this trip. The next day I made the long drive back up to Barcelona from Gibraltar, where I spent another couple of days. I did do some stuff in Barcelona, but nothing to write home about since it's around work-related stuff. So that was another retro look at a trip I took, and I hope this gave you guys some ideas. To close, I'm going to leave you with one of the few airplane departures that come out of Gibraltar Airport on a daily basis.